I wish I knew what professional exhaust fabricators use for exhaust systems, because I use magnets, zip ties, tape, and various tools to prop up the exhaust until I tack it. When you are building exhaust systems, don't be like me. I checked the fitting on the other side and it seemed to be good enough. However, on the inside, where I didn't see, there is this massive gaping hole. It is time to fabricate the exhaust system from all of the various bits that are in the garage. So for example, I still have the old piece of the exhaust that was on this car when it was gray, and also this is the same exhaust that was on the green Lexus later on. And then we made a new back pipe, so this was not necessary. Also, I've got, I think it is pretty much the full 2 meters of just straight pipe. Then I also have the 1GZ GTE turbo down pipe, and some more straight pipe, and one 45-degree bend. And from that all, I'm hoping to make a temporary exhaust to get the car running, to get mapped and things like that. I forgot to mention that there is also one more piece that is with the hangers for the centerpiece, I guess. We redid that on the green IS200 because of the change of mufflers. This was left over, so I'll be using that pretty much because it has the hangers already. That means that I don't need to buy them. Got the few first pieces tacked together. Let's put it on and see how it fits. So just bolted in the piece. I think the angle is pretty good. Might be a little tight for my liking up top, but for a temporary exhaust, that's okay. My major goal was to put the exhaust like at the level or just above the frame rails, so it would not hit. So I think I've achieved that. Now to just do the rest of the exhaust system and connect to the middle piece that is already hanging over there. So I'll need to do some kind of a S over here to avoid this gearbox mount. Might not even need an S, just a pipe at an angle, and then once again at the same angle to counteract. I got into making the exhaust, so forgot to film for a bit, but I'm currently here now. I've got the pie cut and this pipe that will go towards the rear. This took quite a while because I had to cut the spy cuts using a angle grinder, which takes a while, also to clean these edges up. And next I think I will weld the exhaust as much as I have tacked together. The next hangers are quite far away and the exhaust is getting quite heavy, and the stacks might not hold out anymore or bend. So just to be safe, I'll just weld this up because I'm happy with this, and I'll do the rear section a bit later. finished welding this section. Came out pretty good, considering all. I mean, I'm getting better at cutting evenly. The gaps were pretty good compared to the, for example, green IS200 exhaust. So yeah, progress. I'll let it cool down a bit and I'll test fit it to see if anything changed, you know, from welding. Maybe one of these pie cut welds pulled a bit. Put the exhaust back, and yeah, just about enough space. The passenger foot, well, might be getting wild warm, but I think it's probably be all right. And yeah, everything is looking good. Now I'll need to figure out how to make the middle section that connects to the middle pipe, I guess. I need to tag this part in, and then another pie cut, and the middle part will be pretty much done. Now I got pretty much all of the exhaust tacked except for the muffler part. So the only place is here. The cap is not nice, but I'll manage somehow. I've had worse gaps. So as you can see, I've done the whole exhaust pretty much at the chassis rail level. The only part where the exhaust will be lower will be at the subframe, because, well, the subframe is sitting quite low, but since it's at the rail axle, the probability of hitting the exhaust there is much lower, because that means there is some road unevenness. So for example, maybe the center of the road is significantly higher, then I might hit the exhaust. Otherwise it should not hit, just because it is at the wheels. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to tack the muffler in to the whole system, or try to first of all weld this part fully and then move to the muffler, because ideally I would turn the car around so it would be easier to work on, but I really don't want to, because the engine is not currently in a position to be working. For example, there's no cooling system right now, so it would be best to either leave the exhaust for now as this, or to just mock it from here. I'll think about it. I wish I knew what professional exhaust fabricators use for exhaust systems, because I use magnets, zip ties, tape, and various tools to prop up the exhaust until I tack it. Yeah, I had to redo this part because the hanger on the other side, oh no, because this hanger was very close to the exhaust, and at a slight wiggle it would smash into the pipe, and that was not nice. I had to redo this part to make the hanger sit further from the pipe. I've tacked all of the exhaust system together. This pie cut which connected the muffler with the rest of the system was very difficult to get this right. It is difficult because you need to clear the subframe while also going through here, so there's a lot of changes in direction here, but it came out nice. Nothing is smashing into anything, so I think it came out pretty good. Now I need to take it out and weld it up. When you are building exhaust systems, don't be like me. I checked the fitting on the other side and it seemed to be good enough. However, on the inside, where I didn't see, there is this massive gaping hole. So what I did is I cut some pieces from a pie cut that was left over, and I'm going to add some metal because this gap is too big to fill with welds. So yeah, before tacking everything in, check both sides of the exhaust. Now the whole of the exhaust pipe is fully welded up. Because of the power prep, the welds are not that great, but it doesn't need to be pretty, and it will be strong enough to hold it. And the last thing to weld on the exhaust system is a bung for this lambda sensor. Of course, I could remove it. It is just monitoring the exhaust gases for the catalytic converters. But since I'm planning on putting this back to stock to pass the technical inspection once again, I'm just not going to bother to disassemble the whole interior trying to remove the sensor. I'll just leave it as is and add the sensor. So got this bung. I'll need to drill a hole, add this bung, weld it, and that will be the end of the exhaust. The O2 sensor bung is welded in. And now finally, since all of this exhaust is mild steel, I think I'll spray paint the welded parts with like zinc coating or something, just to help out the welds a little bit, because they'll be underneath the car, they will have a lot of moisture on it. So even though it is a temporary exhaust, still better to try to protect it. This is the finished exhaust. I think I accomplished my goal of keeping the exhaust very high. Got the lambda sensor in, and the rear looks like so. And this is how it looks from the back. I think I got... oh, it actually moved a bit. It is off center right now. Oh well, at least it's not, it shouldn't be hitting. But yeah, didn't actually put it at the correct angle. Oh well, things happen. Now I cannot start the engine so we could hear how the exhaust sounds, just because I've started to mock up the intercooler piping. So that means the engine is not operable right now. But I think it is better to hear it once it is fully finished, and you can hear not only the exhaust but also the turbo sounds. This means that this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and hopefully in the next episode I will be finished with this intercooler thingies.